It's Randi Rhodes. Enjoy this free video from Political Voices Network.
Why doesn't she just wait till like the start of the Paris Olympics in 2024? Maybe when the flame goes up to the Olympic torch, maybe she can drop it then. Or maybe she can wait till 2027. I mean, this is ridiculous. This call was made on January the 2nd of 2021. We had a grand jury impaneled. They came back with multiple suggestions for indictments. She continues to delay. And again, what's the problem with that? First of all, they've had all the evidence for a really long time. Secondly, the closer this comes to election season, the more political it looks.
I see. Okay. And also the voting machine story broke yesterday, which I'm guessing, and I've always guessed the same guess. You know, I was right yesterday about Tucker Carlson. It had nothing to do with Dominion. I really don't think it did. I still don't think it did. I think it has everything to do with Abby Grossman and a workplace of, sexual harassment, the C word, the Nancy Pelosi, boob pictures, the grotesque nature in which these men parade around in their workplace, and the incredibly hostile workplace that Fox is for women, which I've seen with my own two eyes many times repeatedly, because I worked literally across the street and was forced to go to parties where Fox News, was exploiting these barely legal 18-year-old girls who had full body makeup on, serving hors d'oeuvres and white wine to people like Lala Ingram and Vivian Westwood, who's wearing a Vivian Westwood dress. I mean, the whole thing, it's just such a surreal environment, Fox News. It is. It's just I'm telling you, the reason why they let Tucker go is because of Abby Grossman's complaint of workplace hostility and misogyny and the C word being thrown around, et cetera, et cetera. But isn't it interesting that everybody records Donald Trump? Isn't that fascinating to you? That there isn't nary a person in Trump's orbit that didn't record him. Michael Cohen recorded him. Raffensperger recorded him. You've got lawyers that testified in the January 6th matter that were recording him. I mean, everybody records Donald Trump. You know why? You know why? Because he lies. He lies so proficiently. He lies so ad nauseum that nobody can rely on anything he says, and they know that in the end, if he ever gets cornered, he's going to blame you for whatever's going on with him. And so people literally record him saying the crap he says, talking like a mob boss, which is what he does. But so they got him on tape, the fake electors portion of this thing, right? And then we know the machine portion of this thing. I'm telling you, and I've always said this, Fani Willis is bringing a RICO case, a racketeering, influence, corrupt organization case against Donald Trump's entire administration. That is what I think she's going to file in July. And if that's the case, it's worth waiting for that case. It is, because RICO is going to encompass all the moving parts of every dirty trick that this guy intimidated or extorted people into believing they could get away with. Now, thank goodness for us that the people in Georgia refused to engage in criminal activity for Donald Trump. But the next time around, I'm not so sure. And that's why I don't care how old Joe Biden is. I don't care if he's 80 or 84. I don't care if he's 104. He's a better bet for this country than Donald Trump could ever be, because Donald Trump will burn this place down to the ground. We need to not just deliver the White House to a Democrat. Any Democrat will do, but it's going to be Joe Biden. It's not just that. We need to, get the House back. And we're only 4 seats away. So let's look at Frisch and Boebert out there in Colorado, okay? Because they're tied, both of them, at 45%. I think Frisch, he was like a city councilman in Aspen, okay, actually got within 546 votes of defeating little, Lauren Boebert, little MAGA queen, little gun-toting MAGA queen whose son doesn't appear for, his court dates. Neither did she. And her husband exposes himself to small children. Okay, everything that they accuse liberals of doing with regard to pedophilia or child abuse or child neglect, they all are doing it. This is how they think about it. This is why it crosses their mind in the first place, because normal people going about our lives, we don't, think about, a group of people being, pedophiles. We don't think about a group of people, being, like disgusting and groomers or whatever the hell. They know about it because they're doing it. But if you're going to do a comparison between who would be better, so obviously we need Biden or a Democrat of some stripe, okay? Because it's 9 months away from the primary. A lot of stuff could happen.
Is Beto or Buttigieg worth talking about?
For what?
For alternative to Biden, other than
oh no,
you can't even not even gonna talk about it. Not even,
no,
makes me sad.
Why? They would never challenge him. It's their decision. It's not ours. They would never challenge Joe Biden, ever. They would never throw their hat in the ring with Joe Biden as the Democratic nominee, as the incumbent president. Not ever. They would never go near it. Never. So it's not us. It's they would never do it, ever. But the idea that we need to do more than the presidency should not be lost on you. We need the House. Why do we need the House? Because we got some impeaching to do. Like of who? Oh, like Supreme Court justices. You realize that there's stories now, not just about Clarence Thomas, but today there's a story about Gorsuch, too. Here's the story about Neil Gorsuch. Neil Gorsuch owned a bunch of acreage with two lawyer friends of his from law firms, okay, that represented the Anschutz family. Yeah, serious. And him and his two buddies who he befriended when he was outside counsel for the Anschutz family decided they were so good buddies, they were such great friends, that they would go in on a big property, just a giant piece of land in Granby, Colorado, a place I've actually been. Swear to God, Jessica and I went to a dude ranch in Granby. It's like 45 billion feet above sea level, okay? The air there is so freaking thin. I had one Coors Light, and I was down for the count for like 3 days. I swear to God, in a cabin all by myself while she went horseback riding. But I've been there. It's beautiful. He bought a piece of property with these two lawyer friends of his, and then they tried to sell it. And they had absolutely no offers. Nobody wanted to live 9,000 feet above sea level. Nobody wanted to live 9 miles in the clouds, okay, where the air is so thin that, you can't even bake a cake. So nobody touched it. And then all of a sudden, 6 days after Neil Gorsuch, a seat that really belonged to Barack Obama to nominate for, right? But at 6 days after Neil Gorsuch was confirmed by the United States Senate, after Mitch McConnell held that seat open for 11 freaking months to prevent Merrick Garland from having it, 6 days after Gorsuch became a Supreme Court justice, all of a sudden this giant law firm named Greenberg Traurig, which I happen to know because Howard worked for them for about 1,000 years, as the managing partner, they swoop in and they purchase the land from Neil Gorsuch after it sat on the market for 2 years with no bites. 6 days after he became a Supreme Court justice. You know how many cases Greenberg Traurig has in front of the Supreme Court? 22.